Hello, welcome to ENVS 308 Ecotopia. I am Jack Murphy and I will be your professor for this semester. Boy, I have a lot of stuff to go over here, but I'm going to try to be pretty quick about it. I thought this would be a good time to tell you a little bit about myself. I was actually born in New York State. I ended up in California and I ended up going to Humboldt State University in the 1980s, where I got my bachelor's degree in environmental biology. And then I went to graduate school at Virginia Tech, where I got a PhD in mycology, which is the study of mushrooms. So I know a lot about mushrooms, but really my true love isn't that narrow field. It's more environmental ecology and environmental science, which is what I have been kind of specializing in as a lecturer. Had many different gigs over the years, but I ended up back here in Arcata, and I'm just so pleased to be here because I love this area. And I teach in the Department of Environmental Science, teaching environmental sciencey classes, and also in botany, where I occasionally will teach a mycology or an intro to botany class as well. And a little history about this course. A couple years ago, I was approached by the online people here at Humboldt State because they needed an upper division Area B GE online class. There was a great demand for that. And I needed the work. So I said, okay, but honestly, I had reservations about online education, and I'll go into that a little bit more in a sec. But let me just tell you what I got saddled, well, what I mounted, saddled with, whatever I took on. It was this course. It was a course called Ecotopia that the last time it had been taught was like 12 years ago, and no one really knew what it was about. We didn't have a syllabus available. All we had was a very brief description, which you can find in the college catalog. And let me read from that description. It says this: it's an interdisciplinary study of redwood ecosystems, biophysical and cultural characteristics. That's all. And the course was titled Ecotopia. Now, Ecotopia is the name of a book by Ernst Callenbach. He wrote the book and he coined the word ecotopia. And it's not about the interdisciplinary study of redwood ecosystems. It's about the redwood country people seceding from the United States, and which is kind of interesting because the state of Jefferson keeps rearing its head around here. But it's a novel, and he spices it. It's in the near future, and he spices it up with a fair amount of pot smoking and sex. And so that is not what this course is about. I wanted to teach an environmental science class. So it has to be about the study of redwood ecosystems, biophysical and cultural characteristics. Can I do that? Heck yes, I can do that. I'm a botanist. I know something about redwoods. I teach environmental science classes. This is right down my alley, except it does have a thing called cultural characteristics. Now, I'm not a sociologist, an anthropologist, and I don't know much about people. But I learned, and I thought, well, what part of cultural characteristics can we work into this class? Well, when I think about the major cultural things that have greatly influenced our area, I think of marijuana production, but that's kind of modern. I didn't want to get into that. In the past, more timber production, so logging, and mining, and also Native Americans. And I didn't really know much about any of these, but I went out and I got information, and so that's part of the class. Okay, and we'll get to that. It'll be fun. You're going to like it. But the other thing is, in designing the class, I didn't have just the course description to go off to. I also had to satisfy the upper division Area B GE requirements. So let me read what those are. Classes in this area apply scientific concepts and theories to develop scientific explanations of natural phenomena. So the way I interpret that is we need to learn how science functions. Now, this is an upper division class. Many of you are seniors, juniors, and you've already had some kind of science education, but many of you have not. And it's a requirement of this is what the GE is for, is to make sure everyone gets this information. So for you, For some of you, this may be repetitive. Maybe you got it in high school. I've done my best to make it interesting for everybody, but it's just something we got to get through. The scientific method, I do take it beyond what you get in high school, so stay tuned. Secondly, critically evaluate conclusions drawn from a particular set of observations or experiments. We will be doing that. And discuss value systems and ethics associated with scientific endeavors. A little bit, we got that. So anyway, that is the information I used to create this course. And I'll show you more in just a second, just sort of an outline of what this class is all about in just a second. But I want to stick with my philosophical ramblings a little bit. When I took this class on, I had great reservations about the value of online education. I'm an old school teacher, face-to-face classes. I believe that the best kind of education you're ever going to get is in a face-to-face class, in a small class with a good teacher. I still believe that. However, having taken on this job, I committed myself to doing the best I could. Now, since it's an environmental science class, I also believe that an environmental science class cannot be taught well within a classroom. We're studying the environment, folks, and not the inside environment, the outside environment, and you can't learn everything about the outside environment by staying inside. So I always, in all my classes, try to get students to go outside and let the environment do the teaching. It really works well, as you will see. So in this class, what I've done is devise a number of assignments that require you to go outside and do things. And the class has been going for a couple years now. Hundreds of students have taken it. I get lots and lots of really good feedback from students who really love this aspect of the class, that they had no idea that this online class was going to be so much fun and so educational, in large part because they had to go outside to do things. So be prepared. You're going to go outside. It's going to be fun. What this does, there's a number of reasons I believe that. I'm not going to spend too much time going into it, but basically, one of the reasons I think that is so important is because we are all part of a community. Okay, you can think of your mom, your dad, your siblings, your friends, the other people in your life as your human community, but we are also a part of a larger community, the natural community. Modern life tends to isolate ourselves from that natural community, and yet it is still there and we still depend on it. With every breath we take, with every drink of water we take, with every bit of food we take, with every flush of the toilet, and with almost every professional decision we make, we are interacting, whether you know it or not, with the natural world. And it's really, really important for students to get that, for all people to get that, to have a better sense for their larger community. And so this is my underlying philosophy in creating these assignments and designing this class. Hope it works. Let me know if it does or doesn't. Okay, if we are connected to this larger community as a culture, then we can make better decisions about managing or interacting with that natural community. And if we as a culture are isolated from that natural community, we are less inclined, we are less able to make good decisions about that natural community. Okay, so just think about climate change. Okay, it's this huge thing that's happening, and if you don't know anything about it, it's easy to ignore it because you live inside your houses, work inside your offices, drive around inside your cars, and not know anything about it. But you are connected to it, and it's happening, and it's very important. Okay. So you will go outside and hopefully increase your sense of place. So let's get to some nuts and bolts. Let's look at our Moodle page here. I have it up. And the first thing I need to say here is that your Moodle page does not look like this Moodle page. This is a picture of the introductory video you're watching right now, and yet this is a different video, which makes me raise an interesting point. There are many videos that I have created for you. I do not make them brand new every semester. That would be impossible, a huge task, and it's not necessary. But sometimes some of the videos do get a little bit dated, and I don't always know that because I'm not looking at all the videos all the time. You are. So I kind of rely on students to let me know, hey Murph, that video on week 3, You gotta update that, okay? Just let me know, and I'll give you a special prize if you do that. That's really helpful. It helps me keep the class fresh, and I want to do that. But where it's not necessary, why bother? Okay. The other thing, okay, so you have looked already at all this introductory stuff. I'm not going to go over it, except this I'm going to say. Due dates for everything in this course. This is a really important file. I urge you to open it, print it out, and put it next to your desk or wherever you do your work. That will really help you guide you through this course. There's other ways you know when things are due, but this is one of the best ways. Okay, then you see all these sections. There are 8 sections. Now, some other history of this class. This class was formerly taught in an 8-week semester. It was a compressed class. So an entire semester's worth of 3 units semester class compressed into 8 weeks. And so this used to say week 1, week 2, week 3. We were forced by the powers that be to there are no more 8-week courses during the regular semester. It's stupid, but we have to do it. So what I did was I just expanded each week into a section. And so now instead of having 1 week to do the work, you have 2 weeks to do the work. But it's really a huge problem for me to go through and find every place where I've referred to a week and change that reference to a section. I've done the best I can, but if you see any place in any of the materials I presented where it talks about the week, probably I'm talking about the section, and if you send me an email, I can fix it. Okay, so you can help me keep this course not only fresh, but also neat. Okay, you currently can't open these. Maybe this first section is open, but not the others. I open them in order because I want to keep the class at the same pace. However, if you come down to the bottom, this assignments tab section is open. And what I've done here is I've put all the assignments, save one, in one place so you can see them. And the reason for that is because you have the option for a number of these assignments to open them up early and get them done at your own pace. I only have, I think, maybe 3 dates where assignments are due instead of every week because it's an online course. The reason for an online course is to promote flexibility among the students. So you can time your work when you want to do it to a certain extent. And so I wanted to work with that and make you flexible. But there's a lot of material associated with these assignments, and normally an assignment like here's redwood ecology biotic factors. There's an assignment here, visit a habitat, and then I ask you to look at various biotic factors in that habitat. So it's best if you do these assignments in the week they're introduced, but you don't have to. So they're down here. They're actually listed both within the section where I introduce them, and they're also down here. There's redundancy built into the course to promote your flexibility. So I hope that works for you. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, let me just say this. This is this Moodle page is complex. There's a lot of things in it, and there's been a lot of thought going into the design of this course. And it's not just me. I've had really good help from some online instructional designers creating this course. It works great if you are very careful and read everything in the order it's presented. If you start skipping around or start doing things incompletely, you're gonna miss things out, you're gonna mess things up. Okay, so students who have failed this class do so in the following ways. They don't turn in their work, or they don't take their exams on time. They just don't do it. And so that means instead of getting 100 or a 90 or an 80 or 70, they get a 0 for that assignment. And a 0 is really bad on an average, and that's how you can flunk this class. The other way is by just being haphazard about going through the stuff here, okay? So if you want to get a good grade, just simply go through this complex class, do things one at a time in order, and turn them in on time, and you're going to get a really good grade. Okay, probably. Now, what do you need for this class? Not much. No textbook, so that's good for you. You need to have a computer and an internet connection, which you do, or you wouldn't be watching this. Some people interact with this class by phone, with smartphone. It's not designed for that. It doesn't work real well, but if it works for you, fine. I am not going to design this class for smartphones. If it works for you, great. But if not, then get on a computer. You need an internet connection. I once had a student say I was insensitive to the digital divide, and maybe I am, because it's an online class, and if there is a digital divide that you have, you probably know you should get over that divide to engage in an online class. I don't have really complex computing here, but a good internet connection, because of all the streaming video, would be helpful. Okay. Let's see, you will need a couple weather instruments. I'll introduce that in week 1. I think I already have. You need to be able to take the record high and low temperatures. So a thermometer that will record the daily high and the daily low. And I have a whole video on that. A rain gauge of some sort, very cheap at the local hardware store, and basically a ruler. And so you'll see, that's it. But really, I think the greatest, aside from the computer and the internet connection, the biggest requirement of this class is that you be able to go outside and transport yourself to some places. So some driving is going to be required. Now, to facilitate this for people who don't have a car, there's an online forum where you can talk to your classmates and carpool if that's what you choose to do. So that's an option. If you have a disability of some sort that prevents you from doing that, then let me know and we'll work around that. But just be advised, unless you have a disability, you will be required to go outside, and that will require probably some driving. More about that later, especially the safety aspects, because although I am requiring you to go outside, I am very cognizant of some safety concerns. So walking alone in a place with mountain lions is probably not a good idea. You may if you want to, but you should know that that's dangerous, and there are options to doing that. Okay, so I'm not going to go any more through our Moodle page because that will reveal itself as the semester goes, but I will bring up the syllabus and we'll go over a few things. Not a lot. I hate it when teachers go over the syllabus, because for crying out loud, can't you read? Yes, most people can read, and you should read, and I want you to read the syllabus. Let me just point out a few things. One is, as of the making of this video, I have not posted my office hours, but I will, and it'll be on the Moodle page, our page, soon. My office, even though it's an online class, I would love to see you. Hardly any of my students come to see me in my office, but please do. My office is a little bit hard to find. This is that funny one of the science buildings. It's all glass, and there's a little scary. It's not scary. It's a quaint cottage called Brookins House. It's not called. It's called Brookins House now. It has a complicated history. But to find my office, you go in this dark alleyway, you open up the door and it's dark inside, and you go up the dark, creaky staircases, and you're like, is grandma here? You're worried about a wolf. But I'm at the top, and I have a nice, cheerful, bright office. Come see me. Every now and then someone says, hey, Professor Murphy, and I look over, I don't know who the heck that is. They know me because they've seen me on this stupid video. I don't know you because I've never seen you before. So that's awkward. So come say hello sometime. Okay, let's see. What do I need to show you here? Right, let's just talk about grades. Okay. Here is how the grading for the course is structured. There are, see, that's wrong. Not weekly exams, but one exam per section. So every 2 weeks, you have an exam. And the exams open at a certain date and time, and then they close. And you have like a 2-day period, 2.5-day period to take that exam. And it's all there on the Moodle page, and it lets you know when that is. Make sure you do that within that window, or you get a 0 for that exam. You don't like that. Then we have weekly so exams are about 1/4 of your grade. There's 8 of them, so each exam really isn't much of your total grade. I will just say that in terms of intellectual activity, probably the exams are the most challenging part. I make them difficult. This is a difficult part of the class because Well, why make it easy? I want you to learn stuff. So study hard and you will get a good grade. Don't study hard, you won't get a good grade on these weekly exams. But you can flunk the weekly exams and still pass the class by doing well everywhere else. So the second thing are backyard observations. I call them BYOs. And they require you several times, well, let's see, every day to measure the temperature, and several times a week, I think 3 times a week, to measure the angle, let's see, not the angle, the length of a shadow that a ruler casts at a certain time every day. More details on that later. That's a small amount of your grade, 12.5%. The big kahuna are these activities and assignments, okay? It says 10, and this is old. There's actually 9 assignments. These are the ones, some of which require you to travel. So these are important. Make sure you do them. The last thing is there's going to be a science project, and it's going to be, oh, please don't say this. Don't say high school science project. No. It's kind of like a high school science project where you dream up some sciencey thing and you go out and you collect data and you present it in a paper form to this class. But I take it beyond what you do in high school, and there's peer review and draft and feedback, and there's a competition for an imaginary grant, that kind of stuff. So that is also a big part of the class. Okay, so that's it. 1 to 4 categories of graded assignments in this class. Okay. Yeah. I only have 2 more things to say. Great. Please do read this, just because I'm going through this in class. A couple things here. In your email correspondence, the best way to communicate with me is via email. I often don't even check my phone mail. Just email me, okay? But look, I treat, as I say here, I'll just repeat it. I treat email as professional correspondence. College, in my opinion, is training for a lifetime in professions. And in the professional place, we write well. We don't write poorly. So if you send me an email, please put in an effort into it to make the sentences correct. No misspellings, no abbreviations, that kind of stuff, okay? Don't text me. Send me a well-written email, and I will reply. I try to get back to students pretty quickly about email because I know it's important what you're asking me. So I'm on my email a lot. I have to say this. Several of my students have failed in the past because of cheating, both in my face-to-face classes and in my online classes. Some faculty don't take cheating seriously. I absolutely hate cheating, and if you cheat in this class, you fail. Cheating includes plagiarism, that is copying an image from somewhere else and putting it in your assignment and representing it as your own, okay? There's other ways to cheat. And I've worked really hard to eliminate the possibility of cheating in this class. In fact, there's a file somewhere in the first section that says how to cheat in this class. Because I've thought a lot about it and I've tried to devise ways around it. But anyway, they're not perfect. Anyway, there's that. So don't do that. If you have, if you have disabilities, I'm not laughing at disabilities. I'm laughing at something else I'm thinking about. If you have disability, you know what to do. Get me one of those accommodation forms and we'll take care of it. Add drop policy. I don't know what it is. You need to know what it is so you can drop if you're going to drop. This is what I was laughing at. Classroom conduct and disruptive behavior. I just copied this from a boilerplate the university sends out. Do not come to class smelling of drugs, alcohol, strong perfume, which I think is funny. Like, actually, you can smell whatever you like in the privacy of your own online space. But I guess you could be disruptive in an online class by, I don't know, posting mean, abusive things. So don't do that. If you do, you get in trouble. Okay. So that is almost everything I had to say, and we are almost done. So in review, what is this class about? It's about redwoods. It's about nature. It's about science. And its sense of place, and that's it. I hope you enjoy it, and let me know if you have any problems, and I'll be seeing you around.